shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Behave yourselves!
Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So this weekend, at least I hope it will be this weekend, I'm going to try to sneak in a few things. One of them being seeing this film, Sound of Freedom. So this is obviously not a review of the film, but there are a couple of things about this film that have been mentioned in the last week or so that sort of made me raise my eyebrows a little bit, to say the least. So, one of them being, now I don't follow TikTok, but apparently there were a couple of TikTok users who have seen this film, Sound of Freedom, which deals with child trafficking and more or less apparently based on a true story. They've seen this film and, or how can I put it, they haven't really seen the film. They pay money for a ticket to see it, but they're being forced out of the theater before the movie's over. So this is allegedly what is happening. And the king of yellow journalism, because I'm from the East Coast, so it's the king for me, New York Post, mentioned that this is going on. That there are movie theaters, AMC theater chain being one, and then there was another one which escapes me, that is ejecting people from the movie theaters. They're telling them, first of all, they apparently leave the lights on. They don't, the lights always dim to the point of obscure darkness once a film starts. That is the typical theatrical experience. So, apparently, they leave the lights on, or the theater manager or somebody comes in and tells people in the audience, hey, I'm sorry, you guys got to go. You have to leave the theater when the movie's still playing because the AC is not working. So, please, please go. So, this is apparently going on, and there have been some reports. Now, at first I thought this was just a bunch of BS. And you know what it could be? I really don't know. AMC has come out and said this sort of thing should not be happening at all, the president of the AMC theater chain. But it made me curious because then there's another factor going into this. Now, I had checked, and I normally don't do this, but lately I've been checking, like, what time should I be going when I go? So on Sunday, I'm hoping to go. So I'll go either in the afternoon or the evening. We'll see. And if you look at AMC, they have a map of the theater, right? So all the different seats that you could select, because you have to select a seat before you go sit down at the movie theater. Back in the day, when I went to the movies, I sat wherever the hell I wanted. But now you have to have a seat designated. And let me tell you, the numbers are never very clear to me, but whatever. So, and when I've been looking, it seems like practically the whole theater's full. Now, I don't mind seeing a film in a theater with a full audience. But for this film, I would rather, go to a matinee if I can, or an early screening with not too full an audience, right? So, but apparently there are people that say, oh, well, it's practically sold out, you better get in, or something of that nature. And a few people that have gone into these theaters have found that there's hardly anybody in there. And yet, the map dictates that a lot of seats have been filled. So, what's going on with Sound of Freedom? What is going on with this movie? Is this all being generated by Angel Studios as controversy when there is none? That would be interesting to know. Because let me tell you, I don't recall a single time in the history of movie-going, which for me has been well over 40 years, okay, and particular AMC, where the theater is telling people to leave because the AC is not working, or there's an emergency and they don't dictate what the emergency is, and yet all the other theaters are full playing movies. But Sound of Freedom, well, there's some issue going on here. So I don't know if it's because of the subject matter or what's going on. I have no idea. Angel Studios operates out of Utah. Not that that means anything, but I have no idea what's really happening here. I don't know if they are buying seats when there's nobody attending, and so the box office seems, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, when does that happen? I mean, I'm sure there's studios that sometimes maybe do that. I don't know. I can't really say. I don't know much about Angel Studios at all. All I know is they show, for the most part, Christian type films. Okay, The Chosen being one of them, which is a recent title. There was a movie from 1981 called The Chosen, but that dealt with the Jewish persuasion. So this, I don't know what is happening, but I am very curious. So there are two things. Number one, it's very rare for an independent low-budget picture to sort of tilt the world on its axis. In other words, shake the world. And this film is doing that. But the question is it because of the subject matter and people are going to see the film because of it to support the cause itself, which is to root out all child traffickers, and it is a pressing problem? Or is this being generated by the studio, which of course they're known for doing things like that. Studios like to generate controversy. At least back in the day. All this that's going on is extremely rare. I mean, I never heard of anything like this before. Not to this degree, certainly not in the United States. In other countries, yes. When there were controversial films because of subject matter, like Last Temptation of Christ at least still managed to be shown in theaters. Nobody, as far as I know in the U.S. anyway, stopped the film and then told people, get the hell out because there's a problem with the AC. There was a bombing at a movie theater showing Last Temptation of Christ. I forget where. I don't think it was in the U.S. But this is strange. And when there is a small picture causing a problem, I need to check it out. Because I've been waiting for a small, low-budget film to cause a rift, to shake things up and say, hey, wake up world, look at this problem. I'm all for films like that, absolutely. Whether they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. So I'll be checking this film out, and I'll report back with a review, of course, and we'll see how it goes. If I'm kicked out of the theater, well, you can be sure I'll be talking about that. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, have any of you seen Sound of Freedom? What do you think? Of course, be prepared for my review when I go see the movie, which will be by the end of this weekend, hopefully. And I want to see it's going to be at the AMC movie theater, so we'll see. But have any of you seen it? Have you experienced this problem? Do you believe this is self-generated controversy from the studio? Or is this really happening? Who the hell knows? And anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please support SAG-AFTRA and WGA, and strike a pose for solidarity for these people to get the pay that they deserve. Yeah, that's another issue going on too, and I did a video about that previously. So, let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. And or if you know other films historically where this kind of thing happened. I don't recall any domestic U.S. release in the last 40 years where this sort of thing happened. But anyway, those are my thoughts. So be prepared for my review, end of the weekend for sure. Okay, that's it. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what you hear, and hit that bell for notifications whenever I upload a new video. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.